Ang TNC po ay nakikiisa sa sambayan ng Pilipino para sa isang mapayapang bagong Pasko.
Ang bagong Pasko ay simbolo ng bagong pag-asa. Ito ay isang pagkakataon upang ating mapagnilayan ang mga kaganapan sa ating buhay.
Ang diwa ng bagong Pasko ay hindi mararamdaman sa mga palamuti o karangyaan sa ating kapaligiran, kundi sa alab ng pag-ibig sa ating mga dibdib.
Lahat tayo ay nakaranas ng hirap nitong taon na to. Dahil sa pandemya, nawalan tayo ng oportunidad. Kahit na anong mangyari, pinipilit pa din natin makapagbigay ng saya sa iba. Yan ang diwa ng bagong Pasko.
Para sa akin, ang bagong Pasko ay hindi concerned sa handaan o sa mga regalo. Sharing, giving, taking care of each other. Sana simula ngayong bagong Pasko, ganun na lahat tayo.
Maraming salamat po. The New Channel, maligayang Pasko.
Christmas is always a reminder to have an attitude of gratitude. And that means sharing the love and appreciating everything that matters to you.
Christmas is a celebration of life.
And let us all be grateful that we are enjoying God's gift of life.
Ang bagong Pasko ay simple at payak, nakasentro sa ating pamilya at sa ating Panginoon.
I want to remind everyone that we should treasure the connection that we have. We have our friends, our family, and of course, Jesus Christ.
Para sa akin, ang diwa ng Pasko hindi nagbabago kahit kailan. Ito ay panahon ng pagmamahalan, pag-iibigan. Walang makakatalo sa pagmamahal na binigay sa atin ng Panginoon.
Maraming salamat po, The New Channel. Maligayang Pasko!
Ang tunay na diwa ng bagong Pasko ay hindi lang paghahangad ng mga regalo o mga bagong bagay. Ito ay ang pagpapahalaga sa mga bagay na meron na tayo at ang matutunang ibahagi ito sa mga nangangailangan.
Maraming salamat po, The New Channel.
Dapat din natin tandaan ang totoong diwa ng Pasko, si Kristo Jesus. Noon, ngayon, at magpakailanman.
Ang bagong Pasko para kanako, dili ang masigarbong pagsaulog, kundi ang pag-ambit o ginabang sa mga taong mas nanginahanglan ng panahon sa pandemya.
Ang diwa ng bagong Pasko ay ang pag-iingat sa ating mga sarili, pagiging ligtas sa kapamakan, at pagpapabuti sa ating kalusugan.
Maraming salamat po, The New Channel. Maligayang Pasko.
Maraming salamat, The New Channel. Maligayang Pasko.
Ngayong bagong Pasko, isabuhay natin at maging saksi sa kaganapan sa Belen.
What does the new Christmas mean to me? It means reconnecting. Reconnecting with the people you love, the people you care about, the people you have not spoken with in a long time, that always made you happy.
We should never forget, Christ is still the reason for the season.
The new Christmas for us is focusing on the basic unit of society, which is your family, and virtual togetherness with friends and relatives.
And of course, sharing your blessings to others in need.
Celebrate Christmas with full of gratitude.
Maraming salamat sa Jude Channel. Maraming salamat sa Jude Channel.
Ang Pasko ay tungkol sa pagmamahal mo sa pamilya mo at pagiging mabuti sa kapwa.
Christmas is the season of giving, but you cannot give if your hands are closed. So open your hands and your hearts and give. In your open hands, we receive so much more.
Maraming salamat sa New Channel. Maligayang Pasko.
Christmas is the season of giving. It is best spent with our families. But let us not also forget that this is the celebration of the birth of our Lord Jesus Christ.
Para sa akin, ang diwa ng bagong Pasko ay ang pagkakaroon ng mas madaming oras para sa ating mga pamilya.
Maraming salamat sa New Channel. Maligayang Pasko.
Christmas is always about sharing and caring, loving ourselves, and loving others.
Ang bagong Pasko para sa akin, malayo man tayo sa isa't isa, ang pagmamahal ay atin pa rin maipadarama. Maligayang Pasko po at manigong bagong taon sa inyong lahat.
salapi mo'y naglaho na ang iyong tuwa at saya, napalitan ng kaba. Itatanong kung may pag-asa pa. Ang hamon ng panahon ngayon, tayo'y pinaglayo ng pagkakataon. Ngunit ikaw nag-iisa, huwag ka nang mangalamba. May kasama ka kahit nasan ka pa. Malayo man malapit din, ang Pasko'y darating pa rin. May luha man may kipiling, basta tayo'y magkapiling. Sa mundong nagdidilim, tala niya'y magnidinig. Ang pagmamahal sa puso mo, ang diwa ng bagong Pasko. Sabihin mo ang bagong umaga, sa pagkakatapay bumangon ka. Sa Paskong darating, pangarap ay tuloy pa rin. Kapayapaan ang maghahari sa atin. Malayo man malapit din, ang Pasko'y darating pa rin. May luha man may ngiti rin, basta tayo'y magkapiling. Sa mundong nagdidilim, tala niya'y magnidinig. Ang pagmamahal sa puso mo, ang diwa ng bagong Pasko. Kahit na magkalayo, ikaw ang laging nasa puso. Kahit nasaan ka pa, tama pa rin ang pagsinta. Ang pagsinta, malayo man malapit din, ang Pasko'y darating pa rin. May luha man may ngiti rin, basta tayo'y magkapiling. Sa mundong nagdidilim, tala niya'y magnidinig. Ang pagmamahal sa puso mo, ang diwa ng panayo man malapit din. Ang Pasko'y darating pa rin. May luha man may ngiti rin, basta tayo'y magkapiling. Sa mundong nagdidilim, tala niya'y magnidinig. Ang pagmamahal sa puso mo, ang diwa ng bagong Pasko. Pagmamahal sa puso mo, ang diwa ng bagong Pasko.
The new channel. The new channel.
The views, opinions, and insights expressed in the following show are those of the hosts, producers, guests, and viewers, they do not necessarily reflect the position of the channel. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hi, Patrick! Kamusta ka na, bro?
I'm good. Thank you. How about
You're good. Pat, it's the last working day of the week. We are in December 23. Alam mo ba, ilang oras na lang at ilang araw na lang we are away from Christmas. We are only a day and 10 hours away from Christmas Day. Can you imagine that? Ang bilis.
Ikaw, excited ka na?
Well, yes, of course I'm excited and I'm happy. Are you happy?
I am happy, but Ivan, be careful for being too much happy. Pag-uusapan natin yan later.
Oo nga, kasi sabi nila, kapag if you are too happy or too sad, parang delikado daw yun eh. Sabi nga sa quotation, sa saying, don't make promises when you are happy and don't make decisions when you are angry. Do you agree, Pat?
I totally agree, Ivan.
Yes, so in this is our Christmas episode pala, no? Next week we will be off for our next episode. So this is going to be our last episode for the year 2020. We will be resuming our episode on CyberNXT by 2021. So anyway, going back to what you said earlier, Pat, you mentioned something about emotions. Now here's the thing. There is this what they call social engineering, which is closely tied to the concept of our emotions, no? Social engineering has become a massive threat to individuals and businesses nowadays. Because alam mo Pat, itong social engineering pala, this concept is designed to circumvent or to get away even with the most advanced security setups you have.
Of course.
Just by targeting the weakest link. Alam mo ba kung sino ang weakest link?
Oy, baka tayong dalawa lang yan, ha?
Yes, it's you and me. It's us, the people. We are the weakest link in the cybersecurity chain. And that is why what they call yung social engineering, it's about hacking the human mind. And now, the biggest danger kasi nitong social engineering path is that it preys on human error. And we all know that human error is something that we can never ever truly eliminate. Yung sabon nga di ba? 99.9% lang yung kayang tanggalin kasi gawa ng human.
Laging tao lang kami, nagkakamali din. Ako, gas-gas
na. Scapegoat yan, di ba? Pang ano natin. Tao ka lang, you have this margin of error talaga every time. So, in this Christmas episode, Pat, we want to know what is social engineering. How can you recognize social engineering? And how can you protect yourself against it? So, ladies and gentlemen, my friends, our dear audience, our dear followers, our episode today will answer all of those questions. A wonderful Wednesday, everyone. My name is Ivan Jude, and I am your co-host for this show, CyberNXT. And we are here to help you see the new you.
Indeed, Ivan, an epic Wednesday to everyone, and welcome to CyberNXT, where we will discuss and highlight the significant best practices to improve your cybersecurity defenses.
Yes, that is right. And I am actually, secret sana to, I'm streaming live from my hometown, General Santos City. I'm here in Jensan, Pat.
Jensan, wow! How's the weather there, Ivan? Nag-improve na?
Nag-improve na, man. I'm feeling the Christmas breeze. Uwing-uwi na ako.
I know. By the way, Patrick Geronimo, and I am streaming live from Bulacan. So outside Metro Manila tayo, Ivan.
Oy, umuwi ka na. Yep.
Yeah, so again, just to make sure that we are coming in clear to you, can you please click on the reaction buttons or emojis below? Let us know that you are there. Also, let us know about your thoughts by sending us your messages through the live chat box. If you want to say, ask, or clarify something, just type it in, keep them coming.
Yeah, so welcome po sa CyberNXT, no? And please go ahead and share this to your friends or to your circle of influence. Create a watch party for your friends to tune into, and tag people. You can also mention their names and you can type them in. Let's have fun today. Again, welcome to CyberNXT. Awesome, amazing. Pat, ay gusto ko lang sabihin na to all of you who have tuned into our show for the past 3 months or so, thank you talaga. You have made the episodes of CyberNXT so fun for me and Patrick to do. And right now, for every one of you who are tuning in, salamat din po. And I'd like to greet some friends, especially number one sa Ampere Namok family. Right now, yes, Merry Christmas po sa inyo. And sa kay Bea Cultivo, kay Vincent Tomorio, kay Luger Rospe. These are good friends that I'd like to greet this Christmas. Thank you so much,
Thank you for
guys.
listening.
Yep. Ikaw, do you have some friends that you'd like
Well,
to
yeah.
greet?
So I wasn't able to create a watch party. But anyway, thank you for all. Thank you for listening right now. Meron mga messages sa akin, Ivan, right now. Sabi niya, paano yung social engineering? Initially, they're thinking it's more of parang how to get the details of one person without them knowing it. Sabi ko, exactly. If you're talking to a specific person, sometimes they are not fully aware that they're already divulging some information. So this is gonna be interesting.
Oh, something na parang sort of manipulation, no, without you knowing. But just before we go into that, may mga recent events in trending news, and for sure many of you already know about it. Yung may mga recent attacks sa mga US agencies, like yung sa Department of Commerce, US Treasury, things like that. Yung malware, yung specific pangalan ng malware na naka-infect doon is called sunburst malware, and this was caused by a flaw or vulnerability doon sa SolarWinds na platform. SolarWinds is a cybersecurity provider, no? And based on research, it has already infected around 300 organizations in the US alone. We just don't know outside the United States kung meron pa bang naapektuhan. And of course,
I'm pretty sure if they're gonna do some forensic investigation, marami pa silang makikita dyan.
Oo. And yung parang pinagbibintingan ng mga researchers ng United States is Russia. But just this day, Russia denied the allegations that they are behind these recent cyber attacks that targeted the US agency. So whatever the case, kung hindi ka man affected sa ngayon, the thing is, even these large organizations are vulnerable pa rin. Kaya we should be very careful, and we should always take into consideration yung cybersecurity posture natin, lalo na that we are already evolving very fast, very, very, very fast, and we are embracing digital transformation in unprecedented levels. So very important po ang cybersecurity, and that's why we have this show. Now, Pat, gusto ko lang ma-share kasi nasabi mo something about engineering eh. No? Do you know that I'm a frustrated engineer? Gusto ko talaga. Oh, yeah. I really wanted to. Hindi ko natuloy because there were some circumstances that prevented me to do so. But originally, I planned to take electronics and communications engineering, and the other one is civil engineering. Pero ngayon, yung nag-evolve na nasa cybersecurity na ako, and I've heard about social engineering, parang mas maganda ata i-pursue yung social engineering, but in a good way. Kasi if social engineering is used in a bad way, malaki yung effect nito. So there are some layman terms na
pwede ka as poker player, no?
Pwede akong poker player, ganyan. But anyway, yung social engineering kasi, merong mga layman's term nito na probably more familiar sa mga audience natin. One is tinatawag nila na budol-budol. I think meron kang magandang maisishare dyan.
Alam mo, I should, if there's a medal for budol-budol expertise, I would actually give that to my son. So, yung is parang, all of a sudden, uy, nagawa ko na pala to. We were actually browsing through a toy e-commerce site, and we were just browsing on some of the toys. Sabi ko, maybe you can have this on Christmas as a Christmas present. And then, bago ko malaman, wow, nasa checkout na kami, nasa checkout stage, and about to pay. So I decided to go for it kasi my son is very good and is very nice, and I think he deserved it. But I just realized, wow, teka, parang style ng budol-budol yun, ano? Nilambing ka muna, and then all of a sudden, you click on checkout and then nag-proceed na sa payment. So that's actually... Yeah. And another one, Ivan, I was actually thinking about it. Yung you can watch tons of videos in YouTube, yung mga modern day pranks, no?
Oo
Especially
nga, no?
VIP, well, not VIP, but those popular person na doing some pranks to another popular one, no? So parang at the end of the day, parang tinitingnan mo, nagko-collab sila and everybody's watching it, no? Parang
Oo.
they tend to really jump into the emotions sa kapag sobrang happy nung celebrity na to, you know,
Oo.
will do some pranks to that person.
Yeah, oo, or di kaya sometimes yung may nakikita ko sa videos, tumatawag sila sa kapwa nila artista in a tone of a voice na very worried and very sad, and that's something really serious happened to them, and telling yung kapwa nila artista na, "Hey, can I borrow money from you? Mga 1 million lang
Oh,
kasi
no.
nagproblema ako." And would you imagine yung kapwa nila artista would say na, "Yes, papahiramin kita kasi kaibigan kita, ganito,
Trust, eh.
ganyan."
Yeah, may
Oo, may
trust.
trust.
Sure.
Yeah, pag-uusapan natin in a deeper sense mamaya yung trust factor na yan. But
Okay.
yes, speaking of trust, Pat, recently, just a couple of hours ago, may na-receive ako sa mobile phone ko. Naka-receive ako ng parang post tagging my name by a relative of mine saying that may na-disgrasya, may namatay. And it caused me to really worry. Kasi
Just now.
sino ba yun?
Wow.
Oo, just now. And I couldn't help but, attempt to click it. At tapos naisip ko, baka hindi naman totoo to, baka prank lang something, or baka na-hack yung account. So, mabuti na lang hindi ko kiniklik kasi about 15 minutes later, may nagtag ulit sa akin. Same post, same description. Sabi ko, parang this is some sort of ano na naman, yung parang account na na-hack, na kung basta-basta na lang nagtatag na ganyan. But
Oh.
anyway,
So the second one,
news,
they're not
oo.
relatives, pero tinag ka pa rin with the
Hindi,
same content.
yeah, hindi na relative yung second one. But anyway, kapag naka-receive ka naman na parang may news na related to a death of
Yeah.
a close person, di ba na magwo-worry ka talaga? And the other thing, na-overheard ko ito sa mga nasa quarantine facility, narinig ko that there is this Christmas bonus scam spreading on social media. So what do you mean by this? 'Di ba? Ibig sabihin masaya yung mga tao and marami ang nag-expect na makakatanggap sila ng presents this Christmas. More more so kapag Christmas bonus. So kapag nakakita sila ng message na ganyan, it might be that they will be clicking that link. At saka yung link na yon will download a malware. And
Wow.
that can cause serious damages, 'di ba? So
Lumalaki na yung discussion natin, no?
oo.
An email, or there's in social media tagging you, or there's even
Yeah.
a text or an SMS that you can receive during this holiday. But okay,
Yes.
this afternoon, Ivan, I want to lay this one out as a thought-provoking question sa atin. So, what really is social engineering? No? Why is it so effective? And what can I do to keep myself from falling prey to these attacks? No? So, merong
Yes,
merong in a mall while you're walking, somebody will actually approach you and say something, and then those types of mga social engineering tactics, no? What can I
Yep.
do to keep myself from falling prey to these attacks? No? So we're gonna talk about that one this afternoon.
Yes, yan yung main objective natin sa show
Yeah.
natin this afternoon, Pat, that we will be able to provide guidance and maging clear yung mga mind ng audience natin about social engineering. Anyway, social engineering, I'd like to ask Direk to flash on the screen yung slides na ginawa natin for this portion. So, Direk, can you please flash it on screen about social engineering? Social engineering, we define the social engineering is actually defined as, it's a form of deception, meaning panglilin lang, that aims to trick people into giving access to data, information, networks, and even money. While the approaches of the criminals behind social engineering may vary, pa iba-iba, no? But their motivations are often similar because social engineering preys on human nature. Nature natin na mga tao mababait, di ba? And it is designed to manipulate emotions. Take note of that. It is designed to manipulate your emotions, which in turn influences your behavior. 'Di ba? Kung emotional ka tapos napabili ka ng ganito, it's because at that certain point, tuwang-tuwa ka. That is why ang dali bumunot ng pera from your pocket. Which, in the same case, that can be abused by a fraudster. Now, this form of fraud has become popular because it is easier to manipulate the person using the system compared to the system itself. Kumbaga, kung may mga computer system, mas mahirap yun kausapin, mas mahirap pasukin. Kausapin ko na lang yung gumagamit niyan para mas madali akong makapasok. Say for example, kung tatamad-tamad ka na hacker pat, di ba? Imbes na mag-spend time ka para makapasok sa network, para makapasok sa kung anong protected resource ng company na yan, why not mag-send ka na lang ng phishing email, parang legitimate, di ba?
You don't have
papasok
to
ba yan?
Ginagawa yan. So papasok pa rin yan. You know, I just realized you're mentioning and clearly describing what social engineering is. I just realized no, kapag sobrang happy ka, yung emotional quotient mo ang taas. Happy ka emotions. And
Yes.
hindi pwedeng mataas ang emotions and mataas din ang IQ or yung intelligent quotient. So if you're gonna do that, emotional quotient, sometimes pag sobrang taas, medyo mababa yung IQ. So pag happy ka, diba, you tend to buy things. You're not thinking twice kung tamang bilhin mo agad ng Ivan. So pag mataas ang IQ, mababa ang IQ. May mga sinasabi, I saw some books, I haven't read it, but there's a way daw na pwedeng mataas.
Sabi nga nila, nakakabobo ang pag-ibig. Diba? Yun yung sinasabi nila. Kaya bumababa yung IQ mo dahil mataas yung EQ mo at that point na in love ka. In same way, pwede but yeah, seriously, pwede i-manipulate yun kung fraudster yung tao, di ba? Na in love sa'yo tapos fraudster ka, pwede mong i-manipulate. Hindi natin alam, baka may-ari yun. But anyway, here's the thing, Pat. Reports say that only 3% of malware, yung mga kumakalat na mga virus kung saan-saan dyan, are trying to exploit yung system. But 97% are actually trying to exploit the user using social engineering methods. Take note of it. Madalas, wala ka na makikita ngayon ng mga technical virus na basta-basta lang nag-i-infect. Usually yan, may pop-up up sa screen mo, click mo to kasi gusto mo tong bilhin, mga ganito, ganyan. Kasi, ang hirap.
Lumalabas sa feed mo or minsan, ito if you like some post minsan, may nagre-reach out all of a sudden sa'yo and nagbibigay ng information or link. If you want loan, it will be approved in a couple of hours. So minsan kapag alam mo medyo desperate ka and you need some money, you tend to click it kasi sasabihin nila loan, madali approve. So mga ganun.
Just this example, bigyan kita ng example, Pata. I was not already employed sa isang engagement ko dati. This is a facility, a highly restricted facility, and tinitingnan ko may nakaalig-aligid talaga ng mga gwardiya, ng mga personnel, security personnel. Hindi ako
high-powered guns and the like?
Yes, high-powered firearms. Tapos sinasabi ko, paano kaya ako makakapasok dito? Siyempre, hindi ko maloloko yon. In the same way, parang ganun din yung mga systems natin, highly protected. But inisip ko, what if kaya may kausapin ako sa loob para lumabas at i-meet ako? Chinek ko sa phone book ko, it so happened na andun pa yung kakilala ko. Tinawagan ko siya. Sabi ko, bro, wala akong ID, hindi na ako makapasok, pero maibibigay ako sa'yo. Pwede mo ba akong buksan ng pinto? Naku, in just 5 minutes, lumabas yung kakilala ko. Minute ako sa labas. Tapos sinabihan yung mga security personnel, nakakilala ko to papustokin niyo to, maibibigay lang sa akin. Nakapasok ako, tapos nandun na kami sa loob, sinabi niya, ano yung ibibigay mo sa akin? Sabi ko, wala, gusto lang kitang kausapin, dalawin. Diba? Nakapasok ako. In the same way, that is how social engineering works, no? Manipulating yung emotions mo. Kasi yung kaibigan ko, tuwang-tuwa yun. 2 years kami hindi nagkita. Na-manipulate ko siya. Anyway, hindi lang individuals ang impacted ng social engineering. It also has an impact to businesses. So, gusto ko pa ikaw mag-explain dito kasi magaling ka din sa mga business na yan.
Right. That's right. So, again, Ivan, thank you for that one. I'm still tripping dun sa sinabi mo na sinabi mong nandyan ka, lumabas yung friend mo. Baka naman yung friend mo, meron kayong mga, nagdaanan ka, nagbukas ka agad na-excite nung nandun ka, no?
Yung emotional quotient. Bumaba.
Anyway, thank you for sharing. Now, I'm gonna talk about yung social engineering impact to businesses, no? It is significant threat to anyone. So nabanggit mo nga, it can be from a personnel, but in this case, it's from the business. So according to Verizon's DBIR, no, phishing emails, a form of social engineering attack, no, is the most frequent threat vector involved in data breaches. Ito yung when you open your inbox, you see something that you would think it's very relevant. And again, these days, if you don't trust that sender, and especially if there's a link, that should be a red flag. Avoid clicking it. No?
Yes.
So again, those data breaches at any second to DDoS. Yung mga DDoS, you tend to shut down a specific website. Ito yung sobrang effective pa rin. You will still receive a lot of phishing email, no? So it affects millions of people and businesses. The threat of social engineering comes from how effective it is, Ivan. Research shows that 70% of businesses, no, felt that they are more vulnerable to human-based attacks where their employees were exploited. So again, those employees are working in the environment that's a bit protected. So again, emails can actually land in any inboxes, and if you're not careful, if there's a link, no, that can be infected, and that can be the start of something bad within the business, no. So despite this increase in again, Ivan, despite this increase in vulnerability, about 73% of small and medium businesses don't have a separate IT security function that focuses on this area. I'm talking about those security operations center. We call it SOC. If you're a big organization, you can have this, especially if you're regulated with a government agency, then you still have it. So, paano naman, Ivan, yung mga maliliit na company, no?
Yun nga eh.
Do you think they still need to have a separate IT security function, those small SOCs? So this lack of action is encouraging an increase in social engineering activities. Alam ng mga hackers to, no? So if you're a small company, but you tend to grow, all big companies started small, no? So if you're a small company right now, maybe you will become a big unit in the future. And if you're not very careful right now, no, those attackers may be also with your while you're growing, they're still growing inside. So I think I strongly suggest probably assign 1 or 2 security personnel within your organization. At the end of the day, they can function or can do multitasking as well, di ba?
Kung maliit pa lang, or kung wala talaga silang trained personnel to do the security function, they can always speak to us and tanongin nila tayo if we can assist them para maghanap ng mga outsourced provider ng cybersecurity services. They can always do that. There's always a way. Now, we want to find out in a deeper detail how social engineering works based on sa mga principles nito. Kasi kanina sinabi mo na in-exploit yung trust. Now, trust is actually composed of different principles, no? And maybe you trust the person kasi kakilala mo siya. Maybe you trust the person kasi yun yung ginagawa din ng mga kasama ninyo. Maybe you trust the person kasi he is someone higher than you, or maybe you trust the person kasi sabi niya he is an influencer in that industry. We will explore that in a deeper detail when we resume our CyberNXT Christmas episode today. But right now, we want to call for a short break. Stay with us and we will be back on stream. Welcome back
Welcome
to
back.
CyberNXT with me, Ivan,
Yes,
and Patrick.
Patrick.
Now, Pat, kanina pa natin pinag-uusapan yung impacts nitong social engineering. But right now, we want to know how this works. Kasi sinabi mo nga, trust is a big factor. Now, hindi lang basta-basta nag-work yan dahil nagtatrust ka, di ba? May components yung trust. Social
Yes.
engineering works so well because humans are prone to relying on our cognitive biases. Yung sinasabi natin na cognitive biases, ito yung flaws in our personal beliefs na nakaka-influence sa mga logical reasoning natin. Say for example, andun ka sa tinatawag natin sa stoplight, sa traffic light at naka-red yung signal and bawal tumawid, 'di ba?
Yeah.
But simply because nakita mo yung mga kasama mo na tumawid sila sa pedestrian, yun ang ginawa nila di gagawin ko na lang din. That is what we herd mentality. And that is
Yeah.
one good example of cognitive biases. Kumbaga, flawed yung logical reasoning natin kasi nai-influensyahan tayo. Lalo na kapag nagmamadali ka papunta ng office, emotional kay baka malate ako pagagalitan ako ng boss ko. Yung mga
Yeah.
ganun, 'di ba?
Yeah.
So this is one good example why social engineering is one of the most successful malicious techniques out there at ginagamit ito 99% of the time ng mga malicious people, ng mga hackers so to speak. Kasi they can exploit basic human trust, no? So it is very effective into manipulating people to force them or to influence them to do something that otherwise they would not do. Now, there's this persuasion na tinatawag natin, Pat, di ba? Familiar ka sa persuasion. When you want to convince someone, you have to persuade them. And that is
That's right.
the objective of social engineering, to persuade someone to do something for you. And
That's
how
right.
do you achieve this? One good example sa tinatawag natin sa social engineering, one principle na sinusunod sa social engineering is yung principle of familiarity or liking. Kakilala mo, kapamilya mo, relative mo. Some
Yes.
people have this natural charisma, yung charismatic ba yung tao, that will allow them to persuade others to do so as they request. One of the
Yeah.
basic tools talaga na ginagamit ng social engineer is to be affable or tawagin nating likable. If you are a likable person, easy to get along with, you can actually take advantage of that to influence other people to give into your request. Sabi mo, pahingi naman ng pera dyan. Pakopya naman, di ba?
Well,
Yung mga
this
ganun
famous,
request.
this famous celebrity, I'm pretty sure alam mo nangyari dito. This famous celebrity, then sinabi lang mabagal ang internet. And the next day, wow, since marami
Ay,
palang followers to, biro mo, she
Oo.
was able to persuade a telco to upgrade.
Oo.
Well, actually not
Yes.
persuading, but again, because she's very popular, no, she can do that.
Familiar and likable, di ba?
Oh.
She was able to pull that off among thousands and thousands of requests of the same nature. Nauna pa yung sa kanya. Of course, she did not do it with the idea na it's a kind of social engineering, but because this is an example how familiarity and liking can influence your thought processes. No, diba? Meron, I would like to ask our audience, meron ba kayong mga kakilala dyan or kapamilya na very likable, very easy to get along with, tsaka madalas kayong hinihingan, no? Ninong, pahingi naman ng ganito, lalambingin ka muna. Oo, that is one good example of the principle of familiarity or liking. Kasi if you are familiar, if you are likable, it is very less likely na i-reject or i-deny yung request mo. And this is one of the principles na napakababa ng risk. Hindi ka talaga mapapansin dito, hindi mahalata na may hidden agenda ka pala doon sa gusto mong ipagawa, no? So yes, the other one is
Okay, Ivan, it's consensus or social proof, no? I'll have I have an example for this one, but the principle of consensus or social proof refers to the fact that without an explicit instruction to behave a certain way, many people will, act just as they think others would act. You mentioned a while ago traffic instance. So it's a stop sign, no? May naka-stop siya, but some of the vehicle will actually breach that stop line. So ang tendency, mapapaapa ka rin sa gas. In the same manner, I have an example. If a lot of people are lining up or queuing up on a certain degree, you tend to really queue up then, ano? Susunod
Yes, yes.
may tinatawag na herd mentality. You've mentioned that one a while ago. So
Yes.
a social engineering attack can use this instinct, no, either to persuade the target that to refuse the request would be odd, you know. Parang ano eh, that's not something anyone else would ever said no, or
Oo.
to exploit polite behavior. As another example, an attacker may be able to fool a user, no, into believing that a malicious website is actually legitimate, no,
Oo.
posting numerous fake reviews and testimonials praising the site. So yung tendency mo, you saw that this testimonials, you tend to react kagad. Uy, this
Yes.
site is good, and then you will click it. Wow. Then again, you're now so believing many
Nabiktima ka
different.
na.
Yes, believing many different people have judged the site acceptable, you tend to accept it now without realizing that it's harmful for your computer or for your account, no? So
Yes.
so again, I've seen this happen do sa mga e-commerce website. So very recently, sobrang active na mga e-commerce website, Ivan. So
Lalo na
before
holidays ngayon.
holiday. So you, for example, Shopee. So before you can actually buy, so anong ginagawa mo? You tend to look at the testimonials. But again, Ivan, you have to understand these testimonials can be fabricated. Can be fabricated. So pwedeng
Yes.
you have a pool of friends that will actually review your product and so on and so forth. So again, at the end of the day, be careful. No, be careful. Trust your instinct or your gut.
Kaya nga, hindi talaga pwedeng magkumpiyansa, no? Kahit pa maganda yung reviews niyan, maganda yung feedback niyan, na 5 stars yan, please do your due diligence. Be very careful pa rin, no? It doesn't mean na a lot of people approve of that product or approve of that kind of action na it's good for you as well. Lalo na kapag likable yung person, always be skeptical. It wouldn't hurt you if you always ask, if is this safe for me? Is this okay to do? That won't hurt you actually. The third principle na nag-influence sa trust natin and it will allow us to persuade other people is itong authority and intimidation. Kasi many people find it very difficult to refuse a request made by someone they perceive as expert or senior or higher in rank or expertise. Kaya yung mga social engineer, madalas nila ginagamit yung style na nagpe-pretend sila that they are someone who belongs to the authority or someone na nasa posisyon. Pwede silang mag-impersonate na as a doctor or a police officer or a judge. At saka pwede silang tumawag sa mga office impersonating someone in authority so that they can get hold of certain information na otherwise hindi naman available to regular people. Ito naman yung another thing is that kapag merong nag-uusap tapos para ma-convince mo siya na i-divulge yung information na yan, iwiwin mo yung argument by using jargon. Kunyari, pinapakita mo na marami kang alam sa topic na yan. Ginugulo mo yung isip niya, ginagamitan mo siya ng mga words na hindi niya alam.
Kapag ba pinlag ka ng police officer, alam mo yun, so, I know my rights, I know the rules. Sabihan mo ng ganun.
Have you checked the citizen's charter? Have you yung mga ganun? Siyempre, naguguluhan yung
police, no? But again, we're not promoting anything na you do this, no? You have to understand that this people, authority, no? They know also their job, no? They have a job to do. So if you're being flagged, so you have to politely, no? Follow kung ano yung pwedeng sasabihin.
Ignorance is really costly. Talaga ignorance is costly. Kasi nangyari to one time sa akin. I was the head of IT operations as of a certain company a few years back. Tapos merong guard doon sa namin, sa office namin. Nagtaka ako kung bakit pinapasok niya yung isang malaking mama na naka-ano, parang kumatok doon sa pintuan namin. Sabi ko, dapat hindi yan nakapasok dito banda kasi doon pa lang sa outside perimeter na block na yan. Sino ba yan at sinong gustong kausapin? Gusto daw makausap ang IT head. Eh sabi ko, bakit mo ako kakausapin? Wala namang yung appointment sa akin. Eh tsaka yung bakit yung gwardiya pinapasok? Nung siyempre pumasok yung tao kinausap ko, nagbebenta pala ng server, nagbebenta ng UPS. Sabi ko, in the first place, bakit ka nakapasok dyan? Anyway, kinausap ko lang ng politely at saka pinaalis ko na. Nilapitan ko yung gwardiya, sinabihan ko, ay tinanong ko, bakit mo pinapasok yun? Wala namang appointment sa akin yun. Sabi niya, na-intimidate daw kasi siya kasi 6-footer, malaki yung katawan, tsaka parang nasa militar.
Oh
Eh
my God.
ginamit nung tao yung parang intimidating
Yung
factor niya.
physique niya, no? Yung
Yung
intimidating
physique niya.
no?
Oh, nakapasok siya. And this doesn't only happen in physical interaction, na physical engagement. This can happen over the phone. Pwede kang tawagan na someone in authority. Galing po ito sa IATF. Gusto po naming malaman ninyo na under investigation po kayo kasi may nakapag-report sa amin na may symptoms kayo ng COVID. Pwede po bang malaman ang pangalan ninyo, a phone number, tsaka yung GCash number po at yung password ninyo? Pwedeng gamitin yon. Ikaw kinabahan ka, hala, nasa PUM list pala ako. Uy, ito po yung number ko, 0911. Ganito, ito yung password ko. 'Di ba? That can work. Authority and intimidation. Minsan ginagawa din ito ng mga kapatid natin sa bahay. Sige ka, susumbong kita kay mama.
Si Mami,
Di ba?
oo. Di ba
Oo,
manilibre? Kay Mami,
Hindi ka marilibre. So, ang risk lang talaga dito sa authority and intimidation, this high risk, high reward ang approach na to eh. You can penetrate, you can impersonate, and you can get into wherever you want to go. Kaso lang, it will trigger alarms kapag masyado kang obvious.
High risk, high reward. That's right.
Oh, so last but
But not the least, yung scarcity and urgency.
Ay,
Ito,
nako.
marketing 101, no? It's often also deployed by salespeople, no? Creating all sense of scarcity. Nako, or urgency can disturb people's ordinary decision-making process, no? I may have, Ivan, before I can continue. I just realized, no? So whenever you watch a YouTube video, no, definitely there's an analytics behind it. You know, some of it because I'm doing also some alam mo yun, some investment yun, sa mga small time lang naman. So you have all ads, no? Okay, we're gonna have a free seminar to make sure that you are investing the right ones sa mga bitcoins and so on and so forth. So grab this opportunity for a limited time na sinasabi for free by invitation only. Send us your email, ganyan, and we'll send you the link so that you can hop in for free, you can attend and so on and so forth. No? So basically, at the end of that marketing campaign, so nandun ka na sa loob, then that's the time that they will ask for more information. What are your annual income, so that they can measure up, no? How can they really, you know, be aggressive to really entice you to join their program? And before you know it, wow, already paying for a membership.
Kasi ano, limited time only, di ba?
Limited time only, sinasabi nila. In the same manner, it also goes to sa mga I have to admit, no, I'm a collector myself. I collect old toys. I collect trees. We call it bonsai. So pag sinabing, wow, this is this is a rare item that you should get, limited time only. Mapopost yan sa mga groups namin. Or this tree is a rare tree, you have to have it. If you're a collector, you should have it. So yung mga ganung tagline, no?
'Di ba? Sasabihin nila, habulin nyo, this promo is only until December 24 only. From 10,000, 5,000 na lang bebenta. Isipin mo, this is very rare. Kaya bumili ka na.
No? Na-experience yun na ganyan. Somebody approach you or you receive something and they told you na, wow, this is scarce, tapos you were able to jump right in or buy the product. Meron na ba kayong ganyan? Type it in, share us your story, no?
Yeah. So these are the 4 principles used by social engineers to influence your thought. process. Yun, 'di ba? Ano ang ginagawa nila? They will actually manipulate your emotions muna, and yung emotions mo na ang magi-influence sa isip mo. Remember, number one, familiarity or liking. Number two, consensus or social proof. Number three is authority and intimidation. And last but not the least, scarcity and urgency. These are the tools used by social engineers to persuade you to do something that otherwise you wouldn't do. Kaya mag-ingat-ingat po ngayong Pasko ha, kasi maraming ganyan. Familiar sa'yo at likable pa, taka ginagawa din ng iba, or di kaya nasa posisyon or nakaka-intimidate, at iba naman, rare and urgent and scarce. Yeah, be very, very careful. Some other people may manipulate you in doing something that you don't want to do. So at this point, magbe-break muna tayo, mag-gap to tayo, and after that, when we come back, we will we will share with them kung ano yung mga concrete examples when used sa organizations, and then we will tell you how you can best avoid social engineering attacks. So at this point, we will be calling for a short break, and we will be back on stream. Stay with us. Welcome back to CyberNXT with me, Ivan, and Patrick. Now, kanina lang, we were talking about yung principles of social engineering na ginagamit para makapag-persuade sila ng mga tao para gawin yung mga bagay-bagay na gusto nila for their own benefit. Ngayon naman, we will be talking about the common types, yung mga common types of social engineering that is used digitally. Ngayon, di ba? Kasi, so, phishing, yep.
Yes, so phishing is by far the most common form of social engineering attack, no? Combined with spoofing, no? Disguising one computer resource as another. So most of the internet users now are familiar with it. Alam natin yan.
Yep.
So phishing is when an attacker tries to get you to divulge personal information while disguised as a trustworthy source. Mga sample nito, Ivan, say an email you thought that came from your bank, no? So there's a link in that. So Mr. Ivan Busgano, we want you to update your personal information. We're doing this. So there's a link there. So when you click on it, so thinking that you will log in, you will provide your username and password. Oh no. So again, one of the most common phishing attacks is when your bank sends you email, no? So ganun yun. So says that you had a 1,000 pesos charged to your credit card, no?
So kakabahan ka nun.
Meron eh. So again, you tend to log in kagad coming from that email, no? So
Mm.
from our previous episodes, we've discussed how to properly check if you're really on the legitimate website of your bank.
Oo.
So,
Oo.
and
Yun.
that email, parang it brings to a website that looks like your bank site, no? Talagang parehong-pareho, Ivan, even the logo,
Kopya-kopya.
the wording, kinokopya nila. But on the other end, the attacker is saving your username and password. So boom. So
Patay.
you now become a victim. So phishing attacks are generally broad in scope, meaning an attacker sends out a million emails. So automated naman yan. Pwedeng ma-receive mo or hindi. So you
Oo.
have people. But there's a targeted phishing attack. No?
Yun.
Nangyayari yan, no? So again, Ivan, so that's phishing. So what else?
Phishing. Meron pa naman tinatawag tayo na parang specialized form of phishing na tinatawag natin na spear phishing. Spear phishing is more targeted. Yung kanina kasi parang mass attack yun yung phishing. Ito naman, specific yung target. Kasi meron talaga silang tinitingnan na tao na tatargetin nila for this particular phishing email. Now, it might pretend as an legitimate organization para mag-send siya ng message doon sa isang CEO or di kaya officer ng isang company. Lalo na halimbawa mahilig siya sa golf or mahilig siya sa mga sapatos, ganyan. And then suddenly may marireceive siya na email with the message na parang legit naman basahin kasi alam niya yung mga likes and dislikes ng tao Kung ikaw naman kapag nakakabasa ka na ganun, parang para talaga to sa akin And again, nai-invoke yung trust mo automatically. Kasi parang legit naman. Alam niya kung kailan yung birthday ko. Alam niya na I am celebrating this special event sa life ko ngayon and this particular email is encouraging me to buy this particular golf club para magamit ko on my special month, di ba? So i-click mo yung link. Yung pala, nagsisave na agad yon ng username and password. So yung difference lang naman ng spear phishing is that medyo targeted. As you were saying, Pat, na yun?
Yeah, I have an example on that one. I think we can name the country, ano. So the authorities, or actually yung network or yung infrastructure ng police authority were hacked. Okay, so they sent out information to some of the businesses. So you, as a member of that business, or like what you've mentioned, is spear phishing. So medyo targeted. So what they did, yung ginawa ng hacker, they hacked the authorities' infrastructure and send out email coming from that police infrastructure. So you, as a business, if you receive something, you tend to reply on that one, or you tend to follow all the instructions. Alam mo na it came from a specific police authority giving you instructions to do this, to do that. No?
So kindly supply your account number and PIN numbers so that we can check right away if nasali ba kayo sa breach na nangyari, pretending that they are an authority, di ba? So isusupply mo agad kasi kinakabahan ka at the state of your emotions, at the peak of your emotions, di ba?
Yes.
Again, what's next, Pat?
Think twice. Think twice.
Think twice. Sige. The other one would be?
Next one is baiting, no, Ivan? So baiting, it's an attack promise some sort of reward to the victim to get them to launch a file. No, as an example, Ivan, alam mo, it's a very good when we were talking earlier. No, it's a very good that you provided this type of example. Let's say you are looking online for a movie. No, naku, nakakamiss yung movie right now. I was talking to my daughter kahapon, Dad, I miss watching movies. No, so parang looking online for a movie that is not yet released. So you might download a file and open it, expecting to watch that movie in advance. But instead, it is some form of malware. Another one, Ivan, if you're a fan of a popular online gaming or specific game to your machine, that runs in your Windows, you tend to look for yung mga hack games, meaning you can hack that game so that you can be, achieve a God mode or something like that. So Ivan, merong mga hack games out there that's a bait. Na instead of you reaching upper levels, ikaw pa yung whenever you click on it, ikaw pa yung madaling mapatay, no? So nangyayari yan. So a business case, Ivan, no? Example is baiting is more real in world attack. Malware infected flash drives. Ito yung sinabi mong example earlier. An attacker might drop some flash drives, I don't know, from mall or parking lot or
Oh,
sa park, hoping that you will plug it in and see what's on there. So whenever you
patay.
see something na pakalat-kalat na USB, anong tendency mo? Pwede mong isaksak.
Pulutin mo.
Oo, it automatically, yung pala, it automatically installs malware and infects your system.
Ay,
Akala
nako.
nalaman mo na kung ano yung nasa loob or may mga confidential files, yung pala, it installs malware and infects your system. So be careful.
Yeah. Yeah, i-clickbait talaga as you've mentioned, yung mga gusto mong panoorin na movies in advance.
Yeah.
Tapos nakalabas doon, nagfa-flash doon sa gilid ng browser mo. Siyempre, watch Mulan for free, 'di ba? Ganun.
Yan.
Pag-click mo, nagtataka ka bakit kung Mulan naman ang kinlik mo pero ang nag-open Lazada or di kaya Shopee. 'Di ba? Eh, these are some malicious attempts to lure you to buy something kasi emotional ka nga eh. Gusto mo, nai-excite ka na gusto mo mapanood yung movie na yun in advance
Oo.
than others.
May
So this
agad
is
emotions, no?
oh,
Mataas ka agad,
mm.
"Uy, gusto ko yan." And then you tend to
Gusto
click.
ko yan, movie, oo. So, kailangan mo pala munang bumili ng isang produkto sa Shopee or sa Lazada bago mo mapanood. Nakakainis. Anyway, another form of social engineering in a digital form is tinatawag natin na phishing or voice phishing. Again, it's somewhat related to the most popular threat actor or threat vector, phishing. So this one is using the voice channel to send out phishing attempts. Kaya siya tinawag na phishing. Now, it doesn't itong phishing kasi it doesn't need to happen over the internet parate. It can use yung analog signals using our voice to intimidate someone, to persuade someone para mag-divulge sa mga information nila. And this is actually very popular way back 10 years ago, yung paakyat pa lang or nagiging trending pa lang yung phone banking na pwede ka lang tumawag sa branch mo or sa bank mo na sila magpa-process ng mga cheque mo and
Oo.
deposit here, withdraw here, ganyan. So
Yeah.
kaya maraming mga bangko ang nabiktima ng phishing. And that was it was a big problem for so many years talaga. Mabuti na lang na through training and awareness program na bawas-bawasan niya. But it still
Information.
exists nowadays. Yeah. And marami talaga like yung binigay mo na example kanina, yung authority very very dangerous talaga because some other people can impersonate authority and they can call you and they will ask you about some information na confidential at ikaw naman automatic kasi cognitive bias again kapag ikaw someone apprehends you and they tell you that they are from the authority kinakabahan tayo agad, 'di ba? Paparahin nga lang tayo ng ano, 'di ba, ng MMDA or di kaya ng LTO, kakabahan ka na eh. Parang luluhod ka na agad, parang magdadasal ka na agad.
Pag LTO yan or Highway Patrol Group, huminto ka na.
Oo. Yan yung nakakapagpatibok ng puso mo sa gitna ng kalsada.
Yes. Another one.
And then, yeah. Another one.
Tailgating, no?
Yes.
So, ayan. So, ito, in person to, I've experienced this one a lot of times. No, tailgating is another form of offline social engineering. Parang simply this is a type of attack is a person without authorization following an employee into a restricted area. You know, a lot of when you visit a specific building, especially sa Makati, yung sa mga business districts dito sa Ortigas, you know, sa Eastwood, some of the elevator infrastructure there merong RFID, no? So
Yep.
Some people, lalo na kapag may bad intention, they tend to follow specific person na alam nilang has access to that specific floor. So nagte-tailgate sa likod, no?
Oh, okay.
So, for example, I'll give you an example. Tailgating will see a person pose as a delivery man carrying packages and follows an employee through a security protected door. So if you're not careful and you're not mindful that somebody's actually may tao dun sa likod mo talaga, and you tend to allow that person to an authorized only area, no? So tailgating preys on basic human manners. Think of
manners naman.
Oo. Think of how many times you enter a security code for building and then hold the door open for the person behind you. O, pasok kayo. It happens.
Ang bait mo kasi.
Di ba? So, for example, grupo kayo, you're a group of 5, and then one will actually enter the pin, and then you will hold the door. Allow, sige, pasok, pasok. So nagiging manner na yun, or human nature, nagiging second to none na yun, na normal na tong ginagawa namin. But again, tailgating, that's a bit, it should not be a practice, especially for businesses.
Yeah, kahit nga lang sa mga condominiums, sa elevators, ginagawa natin yan. We hold the door for someone without really knowing kung pwede ba siyang pumasok o hindi. But you know that he's coming right through it, kaya pinapapasok mo na lang din, di ba? Out of politeness.
Mo na, up, yun, di ba?
Ayun, bubuksan.
Ng ano kasi nature natin na, uy, teka muna.
Yes.
Talagang ang mga Pilipino, ano yan mapagbigay lagi, no?
Mapagbigay. Lalo na ngayong Pasko kasi masaya halos lahat eh. Kaya madali tayong nagagatungan nitong mga inaanak. Anyway, we already discussed its impacts. We already uncovered yung principles behind, and we already discussed yung different forms nito, lalo na in a digital context. Now, we want to tell our audience how to defend against social engineering. The first one, but here's the thing, humans will be humans. And that is why social engineering works very, very well. We can't help but be polite, be kind, be intimidated, be happy, and be sad. And people can use that against us. Now, it's very hard to break our cultural conditioning and cognitive biases. Andyan na yan eh. Pinalaki na tayo na ganyan eh. Kasalanan ba natin pinalaki tayo ng mababait at mapagbigay? Diba? Now, so here are some tactics that they can implement to ensure that they can stand the best chance of protecting themselves from social engineering. Number 1, get your processes, lalo na kapag organization ka, get your processes in place. Gumawa ka ng policies, gumawa ka ng procedures, and please, kapag gumawa kayo ng policies and procedures, don't let anyone deviate from them. Ang problema kasi, gumawa tayo ng policy, gumawa tayo ng procedure, pero meron tayong special accommodation, special case parate, and that is not good. Iwasan po natin yan. So make sure your team buys in the processes. Gusto din nila, and they will contribute and they will cooperate in implementing it and not deviating from it. The second one,
I think the culture starts from the top. If your boss is doing it, everyone will follow. It's very important.
Yes.
Follow the leader, no? The next one, Ivan, regularly train and frequently test your people, no? Naglilid yan. Talaga maganda yung usapan natin for businesses. People can't stand processes. Alam natin yan. Especially slow you down from accomplishing a task such as handling customer concerns. Alam mo, it takes some time and think through some possible social engineering attacks that could affect your organization. Present those scenarios to your team and have them act out what they would do in those situations. No, I found that when I'm told exactly why a process exists and how it helps save me from making a mistake, I'm more likely to follow it. No, pag alam nila they tend to follow it. But if you don't discuss it, just post something and then follow this, follow that without telling them what's the rationale behind it.
Tama yun. Paintindi natin.
And treat your employees like humans. Help them become aware of their cognitive biases. No, the better you train your team, the less likely they are to fall for a scam. So if you have a bank or a big bank or an airline or I don't know hotel and industry, you have to make sure that you train people. And I think the culture should start from the top, like what I've mentioned. If your boss is doing it, you will realize, oh, I can see my boss is doing might as well, diba? I'll do the same. So there are companies you can hire like us, IPV Network, to test your team and make sure they are following the proper procedures when faced with possible social engineering attack. Ivan, IPV Network can conduct, we can do some social engineering, interact with your employees or visit the bank or visit your office and make sure we can do some things like yun ang magpapaprint. Sir, pwede magpa-print. I have this USB.
Oo.
Yung pala may payload na, and then boom, you're in. No?
We can do that. We can definitely help organizations with regards to social engineering, testing that their people are not vulnerable to these kinds of attack.
Yes.
Lalo na yung magaling tayo dalawa manipulate ng emotions eh. So pwedeng tayo
Baka
yung pumunta doon.
ikaw lang magaling
Ako
mag-manipulate.
lang. Anyway, proceed na nga tayo sa next Mas
sige na nga,
baka saan pa mapunta. The third tip we have is to use multi-factor access control or yung multi-factor authentication. Kasi here's the thing, humans will be humans and at certain point, we will be vulnerable. Merong loophole, merong flaw. Tsaka kung makapasok man, if ever someone calls you and you divulge an information about your username and password, at least kapag nabigay mo na yun, hindi pa rin siya makakapasok if you have multiple layers of defenses and a security code. May security code na magte-text. Alimbawa, parang na-hypnotize ka sa kapogi nung lalaking lumapit sa'yo at humingi ng username and password. Binigay ng babae. At least kung hacker man yun, kung sinubukan niyang pumasok, hindi pa rin siya makakapasok talaga doon sa system kasi magte-text pa yun doon sa number ng babae. And hopefully, by that time, nahimasmasan na yung tao. Ay, hala, naibigay ko pala. Mabuti na lang, meron akong multi-factor authentication para hindi siya makapasok talaga doon sa loob. May alert. Okay.
Restricting the use of admin accounts. No?
Wow.
I will tell you, baka medyo nagugulo yung viewers natin. Admin accounts, these are accounts used to really build your infrastructure, yung network and system. So they use administrative accounts. For example, another one, if in an office you're using a network printer, no? Wala naman naka-attach na printer, ang layo ng printer, pero you can actually send a printing command to that specific machine. So you can do that with an administrative or service account. You set it up, no? For the office, if you're the printer provider, you use a service account. So yung mga service accounts na yun, Ivan, it can be considered as an admin account. Kasi those service account to set up mga printing, I don't know, printing or scanning or whatever in your network, ito yung mga accounts na nakakalimutan na when setting it up in the beginning, hindi na natanggal, no? Admin accounts hold the superpower, no? We call it power account. Anything what they want and must be restricted at all times. If you're not careful, if you're the IT personnel who is in charge of implementing such infrastructure, baka makalimutan mo na. So you have to make sure that you know kung saan siya ginamit and who's using it. So it must not be used for any or performing mundane task, Ivan.
Wow, ganda ng tip natin. 4 lang yun ha. Number 1, get your processes in place and do not deviate from them. Number 2, regularly train and test your employees. Number 3, use multi-factor authentication or multi-factor access control. And last but not the least, restrict the use of superpower accounts or admin accounts. Now, Pat, I have the last question for you. What should they do next right after hearing all of these things about social engineering?
Good. The first thing your business should do is speak to an expert. No, if I'm telling you now, Ivan, if you're very good in creating a shampoo, you're not very good in implementing cybersecurity. You should speak to an expert. Call your IT department to discuss your business security and to ask about training for your people. If you don't have an IT provider or qualified in the house staff, then message us through the live chat. Give us a call at 8564-0626 or email us at cybernext@ipvnetwork.com.
Yan. Lumabas yung mukha natin, no? Talk to us. May phone number tayo, may email din tayo dyan. They can always reach out to us and we can help them with regards to this cybersecurity controls.
Yes, and use the tips in this guide and make sure, I hope nag-screen grab kayo kanina when Ivan is flashing all the tips and the information we've talked about this afternoon. Use the tips in this guide and make sure you set some rules for yourself or for your organization. It's imperative that your people are educated about the threat of social engineering and you set some clear guidance around it, no? And remember, one wrong click lang yan, Ivan. On an email can sabotage all the security controls you have in place, no? So
Yes.
nakapasok agad. You've invested so
Yeah.
much a firewall and so on and so forth. May mga security layers. Yun pala,
Yeah.
one employee can actually start a huge problem for your security controls.
Yes, that's correct. But again, humans will be humans, and humans are the weakest link in the cybersecurity chain. We already know this, so that's why we will be making actions to address this. Thank you po so much for tuning in sa show namin, our Christmas episode before December 25, and thank you again for supporting CyberNXT and our show. So you can always check out our Facebook page, and you can also check out our YouTube channel for other shows that you can catch on Cyber or on TNC. And one of it is CyberNXT. Again,
Yeah.
thank you so much, Pat. Nag-enjoy ako sa discussions natin
Oh,
today, and
yes,
there are
of
a lot
course.
of things that they can tune and they can also learn in TNC. So I think we will see each other again on 2021 already, right?
That's right. Yeah. Looking
Mhm.
forward to that one. Thank you so much for this afternoon, no? For all our viewers, thank you for joining us.
Yep. So we hope that this episode was helpful, and also our previous episodes as well. We hope na nakatulong kami in the year 2020 in helping you improve your cybersecurity posture. And there are a lot of cybersecurity matters that we will be talking about in our upcoming episodes. So if you need advice, guidance, or you just need someone to talk to about your cybersecurity concerns, please do let us know. Reach out to us, reach out to me, Ivan, and reach out to my partner, Patrick, and we will be more than glad and happy to help you address your cybersecurity concerns.
Of course, and there are a lot of
Yeah.
interesting cybersecurity matters that we will be talking about. Looking forward na ako, Ivan, sa 2021 January, we will resume our episodes. And if you need advice or guidance on cybersecurity, again, feel free to get in touch with us at cybernext at ipvnetwork.com, and
Yeah.
we'll be more than happy to assist you.
Yeah. Merry Christmas, everyone. Catch us again next year. Okay,
Next
same
year.
time and same place. Again, kahit 2020 or 2021 pa yan, we need to be aware and we need to be informed about cybersecurity, because in this digital world, we need to be mindful of the things that we need to do. Your next cyber strategy should start with you. This is Ivan Jude saying Merry Christmas and bye-bye for now.
This is Patrick Geronimo. Merry Christmas. See you again next year.
Yes, and a prosperous new year. Thank you so much. Thank you, TNC. Thank you, Direct Saito. Thanks, everyone, and I'll see you again. Bye-bye.